The fact that Mac Jones spoke today, does it tell you anything about who's going to play Sunday? How did you guys read that whole situation?
It totally suggests that he's starting on Sunday, and I think most people thought that ship had sailed, and I think that's the hard thing for a lot of us who predicted him not starting this Sunday, like myself, to hear him getting first team reps in last week's practice, and then seeing that he was addressing the press today, leads you to think that he's going to start, which I think is just unbelievable. I think it's unbelievable considering where we're at, what we have seen, what we know about the situation. To see that Mac Jones at this point with 7 games left, a 2-8 season, is going downhill, and a huge responsibility. Part of that reason is because of the play of the quarterback, that they are going to still, hitch their wagon to him is shocking to me, Mazz. It really is, and so I'm surprised to hear that. But when you hear his comments about it, I mean, he's not real confident about it. But it leads me to believe that he's going to start. So just to answer your question, yes, and that to me is shocking, absolutely shocking, because I think most of us thought no way in hell after getting benched with 2 minutes left in the last game in Germany that he would be the starting quarterback this Sunday.
Okay, I have follow-up questions to some of what you just said, but Matt, let me ask you the same question. Do you read into it?
Yeah, I do. And the fact of the matter is, it hasn't been definitively ruled out that Mac Jones is no longer the starting quarterback, which is stunning and shocking to me. I'm totally with you, Ted. It just makes you wonder what the whole Germany experience was all about. You bench your starting quarterback with 2 minutes to play, down 4. In any other market, any other city, any other team, if you do that to your starting quarterback, you're doing it because that guy's no longer your starting quarterback. I cannot believe we're sitting here a week and a half later and we're talking about Mac Jones speaking today, meaning he's probably the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots moving forward. I am frankly stunned, and frankly, I'm upset as a Patriots fan. Like, what was that experience in Germany about? What has been this entire year about? And we need to keep watching this guy. I need to watch Mac Jones again this weekend. I'm done with it, Mazz. I'm done with it.
Okay, so now my question to you both is this, before I give you my 2 cents on the whole thing. Ted, what would you do this weekend? Who would you play and why?
I would play Zappy is who I'd play. To me, he's your backup quarterback. And so I would play Zappy, and if I don't care what he's looked like in practice. At this point, I can't imagine him doing worse than what Mac is doing. And I just think the players deserve a change of quarterback. Not only is it the fans, but I just think the players, whether if they were to survey all the players on that team, my guess is it would be overwhelmingly positive, and they'd want Bailey Zappi as their starting quarterback.
Just for something different.
Something different. That's it. I'm sorry. You know what? It doesn't matter what he looks like in practice. Put him in the game, see what it looks like, and go from there. So that's where I would be on that. If I'm a former player and today as a fan, I want to see something different. It's what I saw from Mac Jones is broken, and I don't think there's any way that you're coming back from that. So why keep putting the same thing out there and expecting different results?
Matt?
To your point about that, Ted, this from Mike Reese's Sunday Notes over the weekend. One player privately said it would be helpful to know which direction the team is going, allowing everyone to rally around the pick. I translate that as, yes, we want you to name a starting quarterback, but we also want you to name a different starting quarterback. And that piggybacks on the Andrew Callahan report from last week that Mac Jones has lost 80% of the locker room. The players want something different. I, as a fan, want something different.
Who do you want?
Give me Will Grier. At least the unknown. Give me the unknown at this point, because I've seen Bailey Zappi, and one of the problems here, guys, is that Bailey Zappi hasn't done anything to win the job. Clearly, Bailey Zappi has done nothing to win the job. He got cut. He had a horrible summer. Every time he's played this year, he's sucked. Give me the new guy. He'll probably suck too, but at least it will be new. If you're asking me to watch a 2-8 football team, give me something new. Don't give me the same old, same old.
Okay, so as has been the case really over the last 4 years or so, to me, this is a Belichick story. This has really got nothing to do with Mac Jones or Will Grier. Or for that matter, Bailey Zappi. And I'm just curious as to what people would do. That's why I asked you who you would play a quarterback. So I woke up this morning and I looked at the schedule down in Foxborough to see who was talking today. right? The Patriots send out emails all the time giving you indication as to who's going to talk. Wednesday is typically head coach quarterback day in both markets as you prep for the game. Wednesday's the day where you turn the page and you go from the last game to the next game. Okay, so you get the coach and the quarterback. But Belichick spoke yesterday. So today, I thought, well, we'll see what happens. The Patriot email this morning said 2 to 3 players as yet unnamed, which didn't surprise me. When I saw the email, I said, okay, well, they don't have a quarterback. They don't know who the quarterback's going to be. So it's not going to be the quarterback this week. It's going to be 2 or 3 other guys, depending on who they are. Jabril Peppers, whoever else, although I think Peppers spoke yesterday, at least to some members in the media because he got hurt during practice. But whatever, you get the idea. Dietrich Wise, David Andrews, whoever. 2 or 3 guys, I thought that's what we were going to get. Then Matt Jones is among those speaking, but Bailey Zappi is not. What is Bill doing? What's he doing? What's the freaking logic? So what, is he just dinking around with everybody? Is that all this is? That he's sending Mac Jones out there to make everyone think that Mac Jones is playing Sunday? Meanwhile, they're still going to split the reps during practice and make it, community auditions in practice, but he wants the world to think Mac Jones is playing on Sunday? What, so he can fool the Giants? It's going to really make a big difference if he springs Will Grier or Bailey Zappi on him to start the game instead of Mac Jones when you're 2-8 and you can't freaking block anyway? Meanwhile, you've got players in the locker room saying, would be nice to know who the quarterback's going to be, so he's going to give his players the finger in the process too? To what end? What's the game for? What's the freaking game for? Like, I don't get it. I don't get what the logic is. He's playing some stupid game. If you were going to send Jones out there to talk today, to me it should have been one of 2 things. None of the quarterbacks talk, or they all talk. That's it. If Bill's going to sit there and say, look, we don't know, we're going to see, we're going to tell everybody to get ready to play. Okay, well, the routine is that on Wednesday then, the quarterback speaks. The starter speaks. Put them all out there. Put all 3 of them out there and let all 3 of them talk. Split the time like you split the reps, or put none of them out there and give me Dietrich Wise and give me David Andrews. And I don't even care who talks. My point is the routine should match what you're telling everybody else. So Bill comes out on Tuesday and Bill says, I told everybody to be ready. But then he tells Mac Jones to take his weekly turn in front of the podium. And what? To what end? Again, so he can pull the rug out from under the feet of the Giants on Sunday? Like, that's going to make a freaking difference. I just think the whole thing's kind of stupid. I really do.
And I'll be honest with you, Mazz. I think there's a big part of him that actually thinks he's going to pull the wool over the eyes of the Giants. That's part of it. And part of it is he just hates giving up information just if he doesn't have to. He is obsessed with information. Obsessed with information. All he used to ever say when I played for him was knowledge is power. Information. He is a information gatherer. That's what he always does. He's trying to find out information on every single opponent he has, every coach, he wants to know everything that's going on out there. So he doesn't like to give out even like the most simple information because he thinks he's given up power or he thinks he's given up an advantage. So he, in a weird, messed up way, he does think he's given them an advantage if he declares who the quarterback is. But what he doesn't realize, he's doing it at the detriment of his own team, and that's that's the disconnect with me. I've never understood why he's so just reluctant to give out any bit of information, even when that information would clearly, I think, be advantageous to his own team. He thinks it's a disadvantage to the opponent not to have that little bit of information, which at this point, I mean, the Giants, it doesn't matter if it's Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones on how they game plan for that quarterback. No, they're not that different.
I mean, I just think the whole thing's Mickey Mouse, Ted. It's Mickey Mouse. What are we doing here?
He's played games like this, Tony, his whole career, and it's just who he is. He can't help himself. It's like he doesn't know any other way to be other than a game player. That's the way he's always been.
It's a control thing, Ted.
It's control.
That's exactly what it is. It's a control thing. It's a power thing. So as things are spiraling out of control for Bill Belichick, his legacy being harmed, all of that, he's 2-8. Instead of changing his ways, instead of saying, you know what, maybe I will name a starting quarterback because that's what my team wants, His approach is to grab control, grab on, and grasp as hard as he can and say, I'm not going to give you anything. Oh, you want me to give you this information? You want me to say it's a quarterback battle? I won't even give you that. Because it's my job. I'll make the decision.
That's exactly what it is. It's control. He loves control. Any issues I've seen with any player in the past, it's about when he thinks the player has too much control. That's when he goes into hyperdrive. He can't stand it if he doesn't have all the control, all the power, all the time, Tony.
So the thing to me, Ted, that's ironic about the whole thing is he doesn't have control regardless. He's 2-8. What control do you have?
It's the illusion of it.
Look at it from the flip side. If you are the Giants, are you sitting there sweating over who's going to play quarterback for the Patriots?
No.
And if you're the Giants, you suck. You suck. The Giants suck. So the Giants are going to sit there and they're going to sweat over, well, we don't know who they're going to play. I mean, if Mac Jones plays, well, he sucks. Bailey Zappi kind of sucks. Will Grier hasn't played in God knows how long. Do you think it matters? And again, I'm sort of a believer, and I understand that, when you are at the peak of your game and you're playing as well as you can play, then you game plan to try to limit what the opponent can do. Shouldn't the Patriots right now be focused on their strengths versus the other team's weaknesses? The Giants' offensive line is worse than the Patriots. They might have the worst offensive line in football. The Patriots are in the bottom 3 or 5, I think. But the Giants are probably the worst offensive line in football. Okay, so you have to trick the Giants? That's what it is? You have to trick the Giants. And meanwhile, you're going to dick around with your own team and play this stupid game or not because, again, you're screwing with the Giants. The whole thing just feels really stupid to me. It feels really stupid. I think Bill looks less in control of the situation than he does in control of the situation and handling it the way he's handled it.
Quickly, you would say that he knows who the starter is. He just doesn't want to tell us. Because there's a lot of people would say maybe he doesn't know. I find that really hard to believe, but a lot of people would suggest that he doesn't know. I can't imagine him not knowing who the starter is. He knows, and he just doesn't want to tell us for the reasons we've all said.
I mean, I am interested in knowing whether or not fans have an opinion, and that would be true whether you want the Patriots to win or not. By the way, if you want them to tank, then you should have a choice, unless you think it doesn't matter, in which case I'm fine with that answer, because it might not. So, the whole thing, I can't tell you how surprised I was that Jones was out there today. I did not expect it. I did not. I didn't think it was coming. So I'm eager to, we'll have Paul Perillo in here later, as we do every Wednesday. I'm eager to get Paul's assessment of it.
I mean, it's still not a foregone conclusion that Mac is the starter just because he spoke today, but it certainly suggests that he will be.
Right, and Bill knows that.
Correct.
Bill knows that. Right? So there's a reason they let him out there. What's the reason? What's the reason? That's my question.